Hello and welcome back to my channel, Multilingual at Heart. I'm Suzanne and I am an elementary foreign language teacher teaching Spanish and French to preschool through 6th grade. I've also taught ESL and I am also a teacher blogger, and my blog is called multilingualatheart.com, where I blog about lots of lesson ideas and tips for language teachers for the elementary classroom. So feel free to check that out. There's also a free resource library available on my you can see right here, free resource library tab on my blog, where you can actually join and get immediate access to lots of free resources that you can start implementing in your classroom right away. So those are for elementary language teachers, whether you teach Spanish, French, Italian, or if you're an ESL teacher, they all would work for you. And again, lots of tips on the blog. So today we are talking specifically about how to lesson plan for elementary language teachers. And so whether you're a brand new teacher or whether you've been doing it for a while, that's what we're talking about today. So any questions or comments that you have, please feel free to leave them below. And I would love to hear from you. What kind of teacher you are, where you teach, and what grade level you teach, and any questions that you might have, especially if they're specific to lesson planning. So lesson planning, how to lesson plan for elementary level. I teach preschool through 6th grade, and this is my 12th year of teaching, and it's been quite a journey. And I actually have said before, I love to plan. I am a planner. I'm such a crazy planner that I've never even been able to find a lesson planner, a teacher lesson planning book that has worked for me. So I created my own, and I did this a few years back. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I am working on getting this up on my shop. My shop is Multilingual at Heart. It's on Teachers Pay Teachers. You can click on the shop tab on my website, or you can visit teacherspayteachers.com and look up Multilingual at Heart, and you'll find lots of lesson plans and resources that are already done and made for you that are available for you to use in your classroom if you're interested. But this lesson planner is not on there yet. So I will link it below as soon as it's available. But right now I just want to talk about how I plan my lessons for the elementary classroom language lessons. So this is this year's lesson planner. The first thing that I have here is my schedule that is just created in like a sheets, like Google Sheets. And then this is actually the student roster. So it shows me all of the students and their grade levels, so I can just look right away and know how many students are in each grade. And then for each month, there's a tab. So as you can see, there's a tab for each month. And so if I flip to January, the very first thing that comes up is the to-do list. And we're still in December. I don't have anything written out yet for January, but I will. So this is like the big picture to-do list. In addition to this, I also have this, which I love. It says, "You got this," and it just, I need to hear that every single day. So this is my little to-do list planner. So where I just write down my daily kind of list of things that I need to do. And this is more of like the big picture for the whole month. And it's fun to check each thing off with a little heart. So that's the first part of the month. The second thing is we actually have divisional meetings every week. And so this is just where I take notes for that. And then we have a faculty meeting every month. So that's where I take notes from the faculty meeting of like big important things to be aware of for that month. And then there is this at a glance calendar. And again, mine is blank right now, but that will be filled up. And this is just kind of going over all of the big things happening throughout the month. Usually I have like lots of color here. Some things are color coded and stuff. So I'm just able to look right at the at a glance calendar and know what's happening and what's coming up and what to plan for the month. But then my daily planner It's called Plans for the Week of, and I have it like this. And it already has my entire schedule typed out. So all of my classes are already filled in. I used to actually write each one of those things out, which was crazy. So I have this set up ahead of time. So all I have to do is just write down whatever the lesson is. And I do this almost every Thursday is when I'll sit down and write the lessons out for the next week. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so, where do those lessons come from? Like, just out of your head? So, no, I also have this, and this is like my curriculum binder. I haven't turned it into a book like this yet. If you're wondering how I did this, it's a PowerPoint document that I made, and then I actually uploaded it as a PDF onto Staples' website, and then purchased it, like had it printed and bound here, so that it's this nice book with this nice cover, which I showed you in the beginning. And that is how I did that. So I just had it turn into an actual lesson planner. And so there it is. So that's what it looks like, again, with the tabs. It has stayed together really nicely, and it's just very handy for me. Now this, eventually, I will do the same thing with, but right now I just have it in a binder. So again, if you don't want to spend the money to do this at Staples, you can still get the planner and put it into a binder. I did this for many years. I had it in a binder for many years, and this year I just decided that no, I want it to be an actual like spiral bound book. Now, what I have here again is I have the tabs. Here I have tabs for each grade level. And so if I open up to my 6th grade Spanish, it shows me a year at a glance. And so there I can see every month. It's divided by month, and I see the 4 main topics for each month. And so I know I have like a good sense and a good idea of what it is that I'm teaching each month. And then from there, I pull the lessons and write them into my lesson plan. So this book right here is the other step to it. And it says, never stop chasing your dreams. And I just really loved this. You can see it's falling apart. I really need to type all of this up and make it into one of these. That would be wonderful to have, but right now it's still all handwritten and it's all in pencil. The reason is because it's an ever-changing book. These are all of my lesson plans for all of my grades for the entire year. So if I open up preschool here and I start right here, and I have, it says September at the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it says my very first preschool lesson, the greetings and what we make puppets with and what we do there. And I have this written out for every single grade, both languages, Spanish and French. It has taken me literally these 11 years to kind of build and design this curriculum. I've pulled from so many different resources, and my goal is to have that whole curriculum for you on Multilingual at Heart, and on my shop eventually, but that's definitely something that, I need to find the time to get everything up for you. But you can definitely start to find a lot of the curriculum on the shop. So if you're interested, feel free to take a look at that. But I want to share my planning tips with you. So for me, that's just what works. So I have this lesson planner where I write the lessons weekly. And as you know, especially, nowadays, things change and your school might have, something come up that you weren't aware of or that you weren't planning for, and that can change your lesson plans and that can change everything. So that's why I do it in pencil, and that's why I do it on here. And this is just sort of like the set curriculum that I use for the entire year. And again, it's in pencil, so there are things that I will erase and change, but for the most part, this is it. One other thing that I wanted to show you, and this one says, hold on to your stars. This is just, let me show you, just like a journal. It's just a blank notebook that I use for a few different things. I think it's always good to have a blank notebook, and I just love having the ones that have these meaningful quotes on them. But I have like sometimes ideas that I jot down. Sometimes it has to do with to-do lists, and sometimes it has to do with, for example, if I need to write a really hard email, or if I need to make a request to the administration, that's where I write those things down. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's crazy, yes, I am. But one thing is that it's really good to write things down, because even though you might think, oh, I'll never forget that, you might. And you know, sometimes things come to us at certain times, or something happens and you know you want to do something about it or bring it up, or maybe you have a new idea, maybe you have an idea for a bulletin board for later in the year, something like that, anything. This is a good place to kind of jot that down. So having these kinds of things, if you're a person who likes to have something in front of you, that's the way that I do it. So yes, these all go in kind of a school bag that I have and wear each day to school. And sure, they're a little heavy, but this is, for me, this is just sort of my lifeline. This is just what I need each and every day to teach. And then of course, don't forget that either. So that's planning, that's lesson planning for language lessons for elementary level. If you have specific questions that I did not address during this video, please put them down below. If anything resonated with you here, please hit that like button. Let me know that it's giving you some value, or maybe you already do these things and you know, maybe you're like me, maybe you're not like me. Just let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to this channel, and that way I can keep making these videos and know that they are helpful for other teachers. And I hope to see you soon. Take care. Adios.